Shout out to G-Man Boxing.
Alright, people. Chris Eubank Jr. tweeted this in the wake of Conor Benn's interview with Piers Morgan. To quote him here, I was 99% sure Conor Benn was a cheat, but after watching that interview with Piers Morgan, now I'm 100% sure. Imagine failing 2 drug tests and then playing the victim. The something on this kid, or I should say the eggs on him. Now Conor Benn came out, addressed that statement. He said, "You're sat there trying to play the victim but try blackmailing me for £1,000,000, you something house." Okay, so interesting. Well, obviously in the fallout of the whole Conor Benn, Chris Eubank Jr. situation, we never heard it. This is the first reported hearing we've had of Conor Benn. Now, he allegedly, is probably what I should have said, alleging that Chris Eubank Jr. was blackmailing him for $1 million. It's crazy. I mean, that's a hell of a lot of money. What I'd love to know, right, and I would love to know this, is when VADA, and obviously the first drug test that VADA conducted was under the WBC Clean Boxing Program. It wasn't anything to do with this fight. It was done, as I said, under the Clean Boxing Program before the fight was even signed and sealed. The second failed drug test obviously fell under this fight with the VADA testing. I'd love to know what happened in the immediate time between Chris Eubank Jr., Conor Benn, when all this was found out. Because apparently this drug test, the second one, happened around about September. Now, do you remember, now Chris Eubank Sr., I know he's refuted these claims because some people have claimed that he was the one who leaked this story to the press. Because do you remember when this fight was announced, we heard about the catch weight, we heard about the rehydration clause, and Chris Eubank Sr. at the time was being very vocal and very animated about this. You know, he was really adamant that this fight should not happen. He was saying boycott the fight, etc. But he wasn't going into detail as to why. Now, he mentioned the rehydration, I think he did anyway, mentioned rehydration, etc. But we're kind of looking at that like, a lot of us here were like, well, like, yeah, I don't agree with the rehydration clause either. Yes, I agree with you there, but like, Conor Benn's not fought north of 147 pounds. He's not even a big 147. Surely this fight it's not a mismatch. It's a strange fight, but it's not a mismatch. Why would you be so animated about it? A lot of people, myself included, when all this came out, having seen how animated he was, and at the time, it was probably fair to say an overreaction at the time. It was kind of like, well, what? Why? And then when obviously it came out, it was like, okay, if he knew about the failed drugs test, makes sense. But he was claiming that no, it was just that he didn't want this fight to happen. It wasn't nothing to do with that. I don't know. I find that a bit dubious personally, but he says it's not, so okay, we'll see. Maybe that was how it was broke, because Eddie Hearn claimed that it was British Boxing Board of Control who broke the news to the Daily Mail. I think it was the Daily Mail anyway, who broke the news originally, which they've refuted. Rob Smith has said that wasn't us. So someone did break the news, but we just don't know who. I wonder if, and again, I'm only surmising. I'm not saying this happened, right? Don't misconstrue what I'm saying. I'm not saying this happened, but I wonder if it was a case of, okay, look, small problem, maybe a week before the fight, maybe 2 weeks, I don't know, maybe God knows when. Maybe it was a case of, okay, positive drug test came back, Team Benn, small problem, right? What's the problem? Yeah, trace amounts of whatever in this test. Long story short, it's failed. Okay, well, we'll still fight, but I want £1 million off you. You know, and that was before obviously the leak happened. So that's just me thinking outside the box, not saying that happened at all, but I just find it strange that Conor Benn is bringing up £1 million blackmail now. And again, it could be Conor Benn just talking out of his arse. It could be him just looking to chive in and have a go at Eubank Jr., etc. Finding anything. At the end of the day, if you're going to make allegations like that, you're going to want to be careful, because you can get yourself sued real quick if you go and definitively say you blackmailed me for £1 million. It's a pretty serious allegation, and you could get yourself in trouble with stuff like that. I mean, look at Jake Paul when he made those allegations about Eddie Hearn saying that he bribes officials, and Eddie Hearn, not normally one for taking things to court, was like, "You be hearing from my lawyers," and you see that, more so nowadays. Social media really doesn't help this. Is you see so many people, not just in boxing, say things about public figure, or they'll make a claim about, so they'll make a claim as though it's fact, right? And then, J.K. Rowling is a good example. I seen some clown saying that she was no better, or she was something like, basically she was saying she was 1940s Germany, we know that party, saying that she was in on that and this, that and the other. And J.K. Rowling responded and said, well, you'll be hearing from my lawyer. And immediately the guy retracted everything he said. Was like, I didn't mean, etc. You have people out there, I'm not saying Conor Benn is like that, who would make silly accusations and say, oh, this, that and the other, and this person's this and this person's that, not thinking that you can't make those accusations. Those people will see them and are like, well, I've got some powerful lawyers. There you go. And that was what happened with J.K. Rowling. I think she left it there. But you want to be careful when you're throwing allegations like that around. That's why I'm always careful to say, like, this is alleged, this is this, because you just don't know. You just don't know. So I want to be careful with that. But Conor Benn saying that Eubank blackmailed him for $1 million, or at least claiming it. Wow. The first I've heard of it. And I wonder, is it something like what I just said there, that maybe Team Eubank, Chris Eubank Jr. was made aware that, look, there's a bit of an issue here. This drug test came back not particularly right. Okay, fair enough. Well, I'll still fight. I want an extra $1 million on top of that, And then obviously it goes to the press, and then right, that's that all gone. So maybe that's what it was. I don't know, but it's gonna be interesting to see where that one goes. And with Conor Benn, the fallout from that Piers Morgan interview, there's a lot of questions that I still have to answer. Sorry, I still need answers for, as many others do. I don't think the Piers Morgan interview really did much. If anything, from what I've seen, a lot more people are more adamant now that Conor Benn has cheated following on from the Piers Morgan interview. A lot of people weren't happy with it, and I don't think it really did anything for his reputation. Personally, for me, I think going on Simon Jordan, and I have a separate video that I'm going to record on this, and why I think Eubank Jr. needs to just bite the bullet and go on a show like Simon Jordan, take the difficult questions. I think that he will actually earn respect off people, even if they don't like him, even if they still think he's a cheat. I think he'll earn a lot of respect by going on a show like that and really getting grilled. I have a separate video which is probably going to go out tomorrow morning on that. I've actually already recorded it first in the recording session I've just done here, and I think that will help him if he does that. From a PR point of view, and just maybe in general, it would help him, rather than going on Piers Morgan saying I'm innocent. I've got this dossier which no one else can see, other than the WBC, who actually in their own findings contradict the dossier by Conor Benn saying there was no mention of eggs, but the WBC saying it was eggs. It's like, what? What? Anyway, you're going down a rabbit hole there. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. I hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know your thoughts. Smash the like button if you could. As always, thank you to the Hip Company for sponsoring today's video. For now, lads, I'll leave you with that. Peace.